I didn't adapt on this day to what price was actually telling me. I was trying to force my will onto the charts, wanting the charts to do something instead of just reacting off what the charts were doing. It was just indecision, and I believe when you have those type of thoughts in your head, it's better for you just to sit on your hands and watch price and to get into a trade which you're not fully confident about. What is going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lewis, and if this is the first time that you tuned into my YouTube channel, first of all, I appreciate you tuning into my YouTube channel and giving me your time. I am just documenting my trading journey. Make sure you leave a like, share with a friend who is also on their trading journey, and let me know in the comments how your trading journey is going. Follow me on Instagram. It should have popped up here or in the description below. The Instagram has been growing rapidly, and so has the YouTube channel, so thank you for that. I'm glad that I am helping somebody learn something at the end of the day. It's been a good week for me, honestly. I went 2 for 3 on my trades this week. I traded on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday I'm not really gonna count too much because, like I will explain in the video, it's basically a gamble with CPI, but I took the trade and I ended up losing. I didn't end up losing too much because I downsized on my position size and my risk level, so can't really complain too much about it because I had the conscious decision of taking a trade on that day when you know you're not supposed to trade. You know you're not supposed to trade on those days, and I did it either way. And then Tuesday and Thursday were actual trades. I could have took a trade on Friday, but I'll explain it once we get into it. Honestly, I just have to thank God for everything that has been going on in my life. My life has been going very well, and I have nothing to complain about. I'm just an aspiring trader who is documenting his journey. I am working extremely hard to make this the highest quality possible, not only for you, but for myself as well, in terms of just information that I am consuming. Like I said, let's get into the video before I start rambling too much. Sorry about all these numbers. I just have them up at the moment because of everything that I was journaling and how I actually am taking my trades now. But as you can see here, this big white candle is this week. We started the week by opening around here at, what is it, 18362, and then going up, forming the top end of the wick, and then expansion down. We had taken the liquidity from the week prior and then started to move all the way down. I still, for some reason, believe that we are aiming for these lows over here, as that is the, I believe, the previous year high. Yeah, the previous year low, I'm sorry. One thing I do want to say is that you do have to adapt in these markets, because I said, if I am not remembering incorrectly, and if I am, please correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I said in the last video that I believe price was going to end up going higher for these highs up here, just to take these out, and it just went down, and I adapted to that. If I would have kept that mentality, I would have had a horrible week. And honestly, I'm very proud of myself this week. I had a very good trading week, and I was on top of my and more of the process instead of the money, which is becoming very normal to me now. But like I said, if I wouldn't have adapted to what price was actually doing, I would have had a horrible week. I will explain it more as we get into the lower time frames, but I just wanted to show you what price did this week, and I don't know what it would do next week. I think it will definitely keep going lower now since we are bearish and the dollar is bullish. We'll just have to see. I haven't even seen the economic calendar for the next week, so I can't say too much as of right now. This is what happened on the daily. Monday we had an up day. Tuesday we had an undecided day when we started going up and then came down, and then the rest of the week was just lower. I believe all my trades were contradicting the actual expansion, which I think that has to do with the fact that I was just trading the moves that were setting up during the time that I trade, which is the New York kill zone. So from 7 to 10 around there is when I'm looking for a trade setup, or 10:30, 11, I would say. I would just have to, like I said, get into the actual meat and potatoes of this week's trades so that I can explain it better. But let's do that. Let's head to Monday. Monday I did not trade because I want to use my Mondays as a day where I am just gathering information, because if I understand how time and price works and how the weekly candle forms, I will have a better week from Tuesday to Thursday and Friday if I just watch how price moves on Monday instead of actually trying to trade. Even though Monday was actually a pretty good trading day, I'm not sure if there was, I don't think there was any news on Monday, but it had pretty good movement, and there was an upside objective that I could have easily targeted with SMT. As you can see, there was definitely a setup on Monday. The price went below the New York True Open, did not sweep this low, and then the dollar and GU made it lower low, so I could have easily had a very good trade on Monday. I just did not take it, and it probably would have been something in here in the 5-minute, because I have been loving the inverse fair value gap, and as you can see right here, inverse fair value gap, and I would have got in any of these two candles because how powerful these inverse candles are, and there being a 4-hour sell side imbalance up here to target as well. Easily a good trade on Monday. I just decided to sit on my hands and watch price. Like I said, I could have ended entered in any one of these candles, had my stop below this low, and targeted this high right here. Look, so you can see very easy 4-to-1, almost 5-to-1 RR, and it would have been in the trade for what, an hour? Yeah, I would have been in the trade for an hour and probably held out until the top of this fair value gap at some point, with, as you can see there, being in an 8-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Like I said, I like to use my Mondays as days where I'm just gathering information, and it is building up my experience in the markets either way, so I'm not mad at it. As you can see, I did see this in real time, but I just decided not to take it because I could have been wrong. I did not know how the week was going to start out, and that's why I don't take trades on Monday. But like I said, I did have a higher time frame objective up here, but I did not take this trade, and that is just what I'm gonna have to deal with. I usually take trades on Mondays if I do see some news which will have price move a lot faster, but sometimes with Mondays it just becomes extremely dull movement, and this is not good days to trade, honestly. But this Monday was a good one. I'm not saying that every Monday is going to be bad, but that is what ended up happening. SMT has been very beneficial, and the inverse fair value gap in my arsenal, honestly. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's move on to Tuesday, which I did take a trade on. On the higher time frame, I knew that we were going to end up reaching, at least if we were going to be bullish for the week, reaching into this daily inverse fair value gap, which has been respected, honestly. And then on top of that, there was a 4-hour sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency inside of a 4-hour imbalance, buy side inefficiency. That is what I targeted on this day. We had SMT in London. Sorry if there's just too much going on, but pay attention to this because this was a trade. The trade was a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Like I said, I don't like to take trades that are less than 2-to-1 because it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm trying to make more than I'm risking. Otherwise, it's just not worth it in my eyes. But I believe I took this on the 5-minute, and the 5-minute has also been very useful to my arsenal. I'm not saying you have to trade off the 5-minute, but that is what I've been doing. But like I said, we had SMT in London, and the whole time we were going up, which created a 1-hour buy side imbalance. So once we got into the New York kill zone and the 7:30 open, which is the New York true open, ended up forming, we made this big move down. So what I did was just went into the higher time frame, and I saw it in the 1 hour. As you can see, this is what happened in the 1 hour. We had the SMT in London, then we just went straight up in early New York session. Once the 7:30 hit, we ended up dropping and filling back in this 1 hour buy side imbalance, and then going up, reaching into the 1 hour sell side imbalance that was above this daily level, and also taking out the high from last Thursday right here. As you can see, could have easily tricked anyone at this point who wasn't paying attention to the higher time frames. So that's why I said always pay attention to the higher time frames to see what order flow looks like. We had these 3 big candles which could have made anyone think that we were gonna switch to bearish right away, but I decided to just wait, and then went into the 5-minute, and as you can see here, we were already inside the buy side. We ended up inversing this fair value gap right here, as you can see, with this move up, and then I entered as soon as this candle closed, and then I waited actually again until price came down to see if it wanted to touch this buy side imbalance, which was already inverse. So I know that it was going to be a strong resistance level, so once I saw price come back down right here, I re-entered it, and then ended up coming back into it one more time. But I already had 2 positions on there, and I was fairly confident that this trade was going to end up playing out. So what I did was pay attention to the true open, saw the manipulation on top of the order flow on the higher time frame, with this move down just being a retracement to fill in this 1 hour fair value gap, and then entered off of the inverse of this fair value gap on the 5-minute, and then re-entered on the test of that level with the high resistance due to the inverse fair value gap. Targeted the top of the 1 hour imbalance, and it was a 3.5-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So basically I was making almost $4 for every $1 that I risked. As you can see, this move after that was just way bigger. If I would have caught that move, would have been a lot more profit, honestly, but I'm not gonna be looking at it that way because I got a winning trade and I saw what I saw. Every trader is gonna see something different. Maybe somebody saw this and thought that the trade that I took was bad. That's what I had, and that's how trading goes. As you can see, the reaction off of this level after filling in this fair value gap was just so dramatic that I should have known that the weekly candle was just gonna expand lower, which would have helped me on the next day, which was the day that I decided to basically gamble. But you can see we broke structure pretty hard right here with this move down, and then we ended up just consolidating for the rest of the day. But let's get into the next day, which is Wednesday, which was the day that CPI happened. Here we go. As you can see, it was CPI. So this day was basically just a day where I should have just watched price and see how the candles printed, just to gather more experience on the charts instead of basically gambling, because there's no way to really predict predict what price would do on these days, but as you can see here, I thought we were gonna come up and close out the 4-hour imbalance with also touching the consequent encroachment of a bearish order block, which we were in before, which I believe was what prompted this move down either way. But yeah, I took a trade. It wasn't risking too much, but if I would have won, it would have been a almost 9-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So I really gotta stick to my plan and make sure you don't trade on CPI. That's just gambling. There's no way that you could really predict it. And if anybody tells you that they can predict what CPI is gonna do, or NFP, something like that, something of a bigger magnitude when it comes to price action, they're lying to you. That is just something that they're saying to gain some type of acknowledgement, I guess you can say. But yeah, Wednesday is not much I can really say, like I said before. So let's just get back into Thursday, which was this move right here. Not a lot was happening on Thursday, as you can see, after a big day like we had on Wednesday. This is the trade that I ended up taking, and I believe it was also on the 5 minutes, if I am not incorrect. Yeah, it was on the 5 minute. As you can see here, there was also news. I think it was PPI on Thursday, but it didn't have the same effect in terms of magnitude that CPI had. We had a 1-hour SIBI on top of price action on this day, and we also had a sell side 4 hours BISI. We had a weekly level below as well that needed to be filled in, and that is exactly what price did. Let's get back into the actual trade that I took, which, like I said, again, was contradictory to the expansion of the actual move. So I think I just have to work on trading in the direction that the expansion is happening. But this is what I saw, and it ended up working out. With the news, we had this candle at 8:30. We ended up we were basically consolidating through the whole morning. So you can see not much movement. It was just sideways chopping. But I saw this and I said, okay, I'm gonna take this unicorn model. Let's just see how it goes. I took my profits up here once we reached into the 4-hour, and I was happy with it. I can't be mad at it at all. I was happy with it because this is a move that I caught. Yeah, I just targeted the -2 on the fib with the fair value gap that was on top of price at the moment, or the premium end of price at the moment. We ended up forming a breaker with a fair value gap, which is the unicorn model, with the news at 8:30. We had the initial manipulation early around 8:15 and 8:20. So I took those candles measurements and targeted the -2 on the fib because it was close to the higher time frame fair value gap on top. I had 2 positions this day as well. I entered as soon as price got into this fair value gap because I was not sure that price was going to come all the way down into the breaker block, but it ended up doing it twice. And this right here honestly scared me a bit because I thought I was going to get stopped out. It ended up just going up either way. Like I said, I entered once it got into this fair value gap, so I had one position here, and then I had another position as we hit the actual breaker itself, with my stop loss being a bit below the breaker just to be safe, and it ended up working out. Now let's head into Friday. Friday was just a very interesting day for me because we had this crazy move during London with price actually coming back into this mitigation block right here. We ended up coming back into this mitigation block and then just breaking down after Asia, and there was news I believe at 2:30 for euro. I wasn't in the markets for that time, so I was very confused today. I'm recording this on Friday, but I was very confused today, so I decided to just sit on my hands and watch price. I literally spent the whole morning. I woke up at about 8 in the morning, and then from 8 to basically I believe 10:30 I was just watching price. I did not make any trade, and I was marking out everything that was happening. I even marked out a trade that I could have potentially took. I did not take this trade right here. This is what ended up happening. In New York, I was expecting for price to have a retracement, which would have been the bottom end of the wick for the weekly candle and the day, because this day was just a crazy expansion to the downside. What I ended up seeing was coming into the actual kill zone, price ended up manipulating up into this bearish order block right here, which is this candle at 545, respecting the mean threshold of the bearish order block, breaking down, having a market structure shift below this low right here, leaving a fair value gap, which was the perfect entry for me to enter short. But like I said, I had it in my mind that we were gonna go up, so this was the only day which I took accountability for. Like I said, I just sat on my hands and watched price, but I didn't adapt on this day to what price was actually telling me. I was trying to force my will onto the charts and wanting the charts to do something instead of just reacting off what the charts charts were doing, because I was seeing this live, but in my head I just had, oh, it's gonna reverse and go higher. So it was just indecision. And I believe when you have those type of thoughts in your head, it's better for you just to sit on your hands and watch price and to get into a trade which you're not fully confident about. If I would have been okay with just taking a short on this day, like, yeah, we had this big move during London to the downside, but it's gonna keep going lower, then I would have been totally fine with taking this trade, because like I said, let me just keep explaining it. Price ended up coming into the fair value gap, creating all these equal lows down here, mitigating this move up. So they sold out of these buy positions that they had to get price up into this bullish order block, and then broke down, taking out these lows and hitting the -2 on the fib, which would have been my trade. It would have been a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio, and I would have been happy. But like I said, I wasn't paying attention to what order flow was actually telling me, and I was trying to force my bias on the market instead of just reacting off the price. And there was honestly another trade that I could have took over here on the way up, because once I got out of the market, it started going up. Like I said, I got out at about 10:30, so I got out like around here, and as you can see, price just kept going up. We had a breaker block right here. You can use the body. I'd rather use the body, but we had a breaker block. Price ended up leaving the breaker block here and then coming back into it. I didn't take this trade at all. This could have been a trade up, and then I could have easily targeted this here as one. I honestly would have targeted up here for my second, or for my actual full take profit, and it would have not hit it, but I would have easily hit this take profit and then just left a runner to see what would have happened, and then probably ended up getting out around this area because it was already way too late in the day to have a trade on a Friday. But like I said, this is what order flow was telling me, extremely bearish, but I had it in my mind that we were gonna end up going up to form the bottom end of the wick for the weekly candle, which I just don't understand. I don't know where I got that from. Like I said, you want to adapt to what price is telling you, not just be obsessed with your bias, because like I said, this is telling me extremely bearish. This price action is just extremely bearish, and I just had it in my mind that we were gonna end up reversing, and we ended up reversing a bit after that ended up happening. But like I said, manipulation up into this bearish order block, breaking down market structure shift, fair value gap, engineering liquidity on the sell side down here, came back up, mitigating this move up right here once we got into this area, filling in the full fair value gap, and then breaking down, hitting the -2 on the fib, which I got from these manipulation candles. But I journaled it down. I took accountability for today. I was extremely hard on myself, because if you're not honest with yourself on these days, in trading in general, if you're not going to be honest with yourself, you're never going to come out on top as a trader, because this is a very lonely game, and the only person who knows exactly what you're doing and what your flaws are as a person in trading is yourself. But like I said, there was also a low down here from, or I believe it was a bullish order block down here, which was what price was reaching for ultimately. But like I said, I would have targeted the -2, maybe the -2.5, but I didn't. This is a trade that I did not take, missed out on that, but I am not mad because I learned from my mistake, hopefully, and we'll see. Next week, I'm just gonna focus on, like I said, use Monday to just gain more information on what the actual move could be for the week, depending on how the news embargoes come out, and then also trading in the direction of the actual expansion. Either way, I'm not too mad about that this week, because like I said, I was trading during the kill zones and during the times where it is part of my plan to actually trade. So I'm not mad that I was trading in the opposite direction of the actual expansion, because I went 3 for 2. It was a good week, and that's what I saw in the market during the actual times that I am supposed to be trading on. And if that is the move that I saw developing at that time, I'm gonna take that trade if I'm confident in it. So let's just see what happens next week. I'm very excited in my trading journey. My life in itself is just going very good. I can't do anything else but just thank God for the position that I'm in and the life that he's setting me up to have. Like I said, I have a very good support system around me. I have a very clear mindset. I have a very clear head. My mindset is extremely strong. I will never doubt myself in any way. I know what I'm capable of and what I'm going to do, and I'm putting in the work. And that's why I'm so confident in this, because I know that I am putting in the work necessary to succeed, and the results are showing. I am slowly but surely ripping my way out of that drawdown that I acquired. What I did was just downsize on my position size and just try to lock in a bit more. Once I get more into a rhythm, I'll bring my position size back up, and we'll just see what ends up happening. I'm gonna take it slow. I am not worried about it because I know I'm building the skill. The capital is never the problem. I could always go for a funded, and I have the capital myself to actually put into these markets, especially after the bull run with crypto and everything that's going on. But yeah, let's just see what happens next week. At the end of the day, I had a very good week this week. I'm proud of myself, and I'm going to stay accountable and not get too excited because I've been here before, and I'm gonna be here a lot more. But we'll end up seeing how next week plays out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. If you made it this deep into the video, leave me a comment. Just let me know how your trading journey is going, and if you learned anything in this video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. The community is growing. People are actually enjoying this type of content, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Like I said, I enjoy this. This is very exciting. I just like challenging things, and I don't know, it's just exciting to me. I like trading. That's really the only way around it, and this is something that you have to really obsess about and have a lot of passion for, because this would tear you apart. And I'm not saying that to discourage you in any way, shape, or form, but hey, if you're soft enough to be discouraged by something like that, that sounds like a you problem. Only the strong will survive, and I am one of the strong ones. So make sure that you, like I said, like this video, share with a friend, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.